have you tried to do to become the leader maybe that Antoine was last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get the guys in to watch extra film, just explaining to them what they're like, things that they can do differently on the field that can help them out, positive enforcement, encouraging them, just bringing them along. Cause this is hard. This has been an intense spring ball, but yeah, I'm just trying to carry them along, let them know they're doing the right things.
Our next question will go to Jared Ramsey with WKAR.
Hey Noah, I just wanted to ask about what impact having a full-time dietitian has had on training and practice. Has that in what is the what's the players' relationships with Coach Reinstein?
Oh, we love her. She's awesome. Anything that we ask for, she executes it. I don't know one guy that doesn't like her. She gets along with everybody. I mean, she's just overall awesome. I mean, you guys see all the videos that we put out of us. What did Camper just do? The milkshake challenge against X. It's just stuff like that she's just awesome.
And to follow up, has that changed practice at all? Having a full-time dietitian in the football building at all times?
Change practices and
or how is that? How is having a full-time dietitian impacted? Has it impacted practice at all, or how players treat their bodies inside the football facility? Anything like that?
I wouldn't say it impacts practice, but I mean, we're feeling all the time. I mean, now in practice, we're doing half times where we feel in between practice just to get food in our bodies like we would in a game. It's just little things like that they have added on that have improved. And, we got all our goals that we got to hit when it comes to weight and our body fat and everything. And we've seen success so far. So it's just stuff like that.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is from Kellen Buddy with WILX.
Hey, Noah, obviously a pretty fun weekend coming up here. You guys are going to be playing in front of, a few thousand fans, and you're going to have the cheerleaders and the band in here for the spring game. How exciting is that, considering the last year or so has been a little, I guess, kind of down in terms of that excitement off the field?
Yeah, I mean, we're all very excited for everybody to come back, even if it's a little amount. Just seeing people in the stands cheering for us. We all missed it a lot, so we're very excited.
Our next question is from Rainer Saban of the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, no. When you look at the Big Ten landscape and you see teams like in recent years, Minnesota make quick one-year turnarounds, Indiana, Northwestern, how much does that give you confidence that you guys can do the same thing, given the landscape?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we focus on ourselves a lot, and obviously we've seen teams that can do that. But I mean, we have one goal, and that's to make it to the Big Ten championship. And the way that our coaches are bringing the attitude every single day, I mean, there's no reason why we can't do that. Our practices are this whole spring ball has brought so much to our table, being able to get in the film room and do things that we weren't able to do in the summer, So especially this summer, I mean, we're adding a lot. We got talented players coming in, and we're going to do everything we can. And we're looking forward to the fall.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the transfer portal and how things have changed in that sense, I mean, and given the fact that you guys do have the spring practice and, got the chance to play last season, I mean, is there a sense, I guess, among the team that, basically this is the year that you guys can really make that leap forward?
Oh, yes. Competition brings the best out of everybody. So we're excited to bring all these new players in. It's going to push every single one of us in, especially the linebacker, since we're so thin right now. So we're looking forward to it.
Thanks.
Our next question is from Matt Wenzel with MLive.
Hey, Noah, obviously you got the starting experience at the end of the 19 season when Joe was out. How much did you you think that helped going into last season? And how much were you guys just kind of set back without, when you have a new defense and you have a new scheme and you don't have spring practice? I guess, can you kind of blend those two together and where you expected to be and what you saw?
Yeah, so that 2019 season kind of let me understand what a college football game's really like, because I was playing special teams years before that, and I never really got many reps as a linebacker. So that brief half of the season that I got to start, it did help me, because when I walked into the 2020 season, I knew what to expect.
And going into this year, I guess, what are your expectations now based on having a full, well, not a full season, but a full season for 2020 of starting experience and getting all those reps?
This year, it's going to be a big year of leadership for me, because I've already been through that process of learning how to play in these games. And now with new guys coming in, whoever is the starting 11 out there, I'll be able to help them along in their process.
Thanks, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is from Matt Charvin of the Detroit News.
No, you mentioned competition earlier, and that's been something that Mel and some of the other coaches have kind of talked about throughout this spring, and how that's kind of been increased in each position. It's kind of creating a higher level of play. And I know at linebacker it's a little different right now because you don't have as many guys there, but how are you seeing that kind of raise the level of play, not only in your position, but I guess in that defense as a whole, having that competition this spring so far?
Well, right now we're a little thin at the linebacker, so it'll pick up in the summer, especially the fall. But right now we got the younger guys; they're obviously competing against each other, and it's really just helping them understand that, and that we only have 15 practices, and we have to. It went by fast. I mean, we got the game this weekend, so letting them understand that every single day counts will really help them.
Are you seeing that too from the other side of the ball too? I know there's especially a lot of position over there where there's a lot of guys. So when you are in those live scrimmages with them, are you seeing that from them, like the running backs and guys up front? Does that really kind of raise the level of play that you guys are seeing on the other side of the ball as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we got Connor, Eli, and then we got Kenneth that joined us now. I can see that all three of them battling. I mean, they're all working their tail off, So especially on the O-line too, we got Jarrett here now, and he's been kind of pushing the other guys. And like I said, it brings out the best of all of us. So I'm sure they're all grateful for it too.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
We have time for three more. We'll go to Stephen Brooks with 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Noah, I appreciate you doing this. Just curious, how would you describe your command and understanding of the scheme now, after having played in it all last year, and like you've talked about a little bit, having some time now compared to game one of last year, I guess?
Yeah. So one of the big things that we were doing this whole spring is understanding the why to what we have going on. We had to get all our defenses in, and we all understood what we were supposed to do, but not as much as what, like, the whole reason behind everything that we were doing. So now this spring has really opened up our inventory and really helped all 11 people on the field know what they're doing and why they're doing it and how it affects each other.
And what about your off-season program? Obviously, you didn't have that traditionally last year, and going through that with Coach Novak, what were sort of your personal areas of emphasis, and just coming out of it, how do you think you improved your body or changed your body in any type of way?
You talking about like in the weight room?
Yeah. Everything pre-spring ball. Yeah, January to March or whatever it was, the 8 weeks.
My point of emphasis is flexibility. I mean, we are doing a lot of flexibility with me. That's one thing that I struggle with, but we understand that. So they've been doing a great job at helping me do other things outside of our workout that will help me improve in that category, Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
We have time for two more. We'll go to Audrey Dahlgren with WLNS, and we'll wrap it up with Jim Comparoni with Spartan Magazine. Audrey?
You were mentioning that it's been an intense spring, and so we've been closed off, obviously, to all these practices. And so, what's going to jump out to people when they see you guys on the field come Saturday, or just the fans, or us, or what are people are going to really notice?
I think that everybody's going to notice our intensity because our confidence level right now is very high, and we are a very confident team right now. And I mean, we've been going back and forth between offense and defense this entire spring ball. So now it's going to be intense, but it's going to be a battle between the offense and defense. And I think that's going to jump out.
Looks like you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am looking forward to Saturday.
All right. Thank you.
Our last question is from Jim Caproni with Spartan Mag.
Hey, Noah, thanks for taking time to do this. You mentioned earlier about gaining a better understanding of the scheme in general. Can you talk about yourself? I could be wrong about this, but it seemed like there are times, last year you guys did some more two gapping than you had done in recent years. And sometimes when you did one gapping, it looked like you were able to pull the pin, as they say, and play more like you did when you were younger and get north and south and do things. When it was two gapping, was that an area in which you were still getting comfortable in what was asked of you? Would you agree with that assessment? I might be wrong about that. And is that one area where you can see yourself growing as you learn, as you have a better handle on the system that was implemented last year?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you noticed that, but yes, that's the two gap scheme that we had was something that I was not used to, and it's a different type of defense. But this spring has really helped us like work on that kind of defense and understanding like the patience that behind it and why we have to be patient. And but yes, I was a little shaky last year on it just because of it being new and just trying to get the feel of it. But now I think I do and all the other backers have a pretty good grip on it.
So you must be pretty pumped that you've got a better feeling of how to go about the new portion of the system where you can look more like Noah Harvey looks on some plays. You can be like that more consistently. Would I be correct in that too?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Right. Also, real quickly, what are you seeing on the offensive side of the ball when you scrimmage every day or some days against the blocking that you're seeing? Who is coming along, some of those individuals on the offensive line? How would you assess their progress?
I think Matt Carrick has been doing well. Kevin Jarvis has been doing well as well. I mean, we have an experienced O-line, and they've played a lot of games, and I think they're starting to come together, and play with each other. So they've shown a lot of improvement.
Were you on the field in the pinstripe game against Wake Forest? Did you get a chance to go against Kenneth Walker then? And what's he like now?
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm not. I can't answer that.
And what's he like now? What are your impressions of him?
I'm a big fan of Kenneth. In our winter conditioning, he was winning every single drill. He's got a crazy motor, and he's a hardworking kid, and I appreciate that, and it stands out, and we are very grateful to have him.
All right, great. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks, Noah. I know you got to run to another class, so we appreciate your time. We'll see you on Saturday in Spartans.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. All right, we will have Elijah Collins at 2:30. So we'll do the same drill here in about 15 minutes. Thank you. All right, looks like we have Elijah logging in right now as he gets ready. All right. If anybody needs recording privileges, I think I got everybody back up again. But if not, just shoot me a note in the chat. I'll wait for Elijah to get settled here.
I'm good to go.
Okay. All right, sounds like we're ready to go. All right, we're joined by running back Elijah Collins. Elijah, thanks for taking some time today to answer some questions. We'll have about 10 minutes, and we'll take some questions in the chat. Let's see real quick. We will get started with Kellen Buddy from WILX.
Hey, Elijah, thanks for chatting with us today. Obviously, kind of a new environment heading into the spring game. You guys are going to have some fans there and the band and the cheerleaders. How excited are you for that kind of new environment? And then talking with Mel today, he mentioned that's going to add a little bit of pressure. You know, these people want to see what you guys have been up to over the last few weeks. And do you kind of thrive under that pressure environment? And yeah, how just exciting is this whole aspect going to be for you guys?
This whole aspect, I feel like it's going to be exciting for a lot of reasons. The first reason being a lot of the young kids that we had last year didn't really get to play in front of their family, in front of their friends. So they kind of lost that year of like being able to do so. And like for me, that was very like, it's very memorable, I feel as if. And I mean, I do thrive under pressure because I mean, pressure, like one of the phrases that I'll go to a lot is pressure builds or makes diamonds. So for me, I don't really see it as pressure. I kind of just see it as like something that's gonna add fuel to my fire. Because I mean, having people there, people watching, it just gives me a chance to put on a show for people. So really, it just makes it more of a exciting experience.
Great, thank you.
Our next question will go to Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Elijah, kind of want to follow up on that question. You talking about pressure making diamonds. You know, with all this talk about the crowded running backs room, you know, how do you take that attitude into that part? These are your teammates. These are people you're competing with too. So how do you make sure that you can kind of rise to the occasion with the competition that's going on in that running backs room?
Competition, honestly, it brings out the best in everyone. So I mean, for us to have a crowded running back room per se, it makes it pretty fun, honestly. Because I mean, you know, you're gonna get the best from everybody. Everybody's trying to give it their all just to be the back that Coach Mel Tuck wants. So I mean, it makes it kind of fun, honestly, and to be able to do that with people that are good people, I mean, it makes it actually really fun.
That's great. I got a quick follow up to that. Were you always like that, or was this part of the progression you had going from high school to college, or did you pick up that somewhere along the way, that mentality you have now?
The mentality, it started off in high school because I knew that I wasn't the only good player out there. I mean, I kind of like look at the rankings a lot, but they ultimately didn't mean anything to me that much. Like the rankings were just rankings, they were there. But at the end of the day, it was about how much work you were willing to put in, like while they were sleeping. So for me, that's kind of like how I started. And then once I got to college, it kind of became like more of a concrete way to think about things because I mean, like everybody wants to be that guy, be that back. So I mean, they're doing everything they can to do that, and so I'm gonna have to do everything I can to be that.
Great, and I appreciate your middle name, Clyde, too. I think that's real smooth, man. I like that.
Thank you. It came from my great grandfather.
Respect. I appreciate you. Thanks.
No problem.
Our next question is from Matt Wenzel with MLive.
Hey, Elijah, 19, obviously a big year for you breaking out. And I know going into last year, you said you thought you could do even better and the production wasn't there. I guess, how do you review last season and look to improve upon that and just kind of what you saw were some of the reasons?
Last year was a really crazy year for not only me, but a lot of people's families. There was a lot going on. I mean, with people, like we see, like people come back positive. I mean, it's a lot of things that go into that. And it's like with me last year, I mean, that's kind of what happened with me. I tested positive for COVID-19 and it took a toll on me back then. I mean, I lost weight, muscle, like wind, all of that stuff. It really took a deep effect, but like I didn't have any symptoms to start off with. So that's what kind of like was scary to me. It was like, how many lingering effects will it have? But for me, I mean, those effects lasted a couple of weeks, but after that, I mean, I didn't even think twice about COVID. I kind of put it behind me and just was like, what can I do now? Like where can I go from here? And I mean, I've been putting the work in every single day to get where I'm here today.
Just for timeline, when was that when you tested positive?
Right. I want to say it was over the summer, and I wasn't able to like do a lot of summer workouts and stuff like that. So while people were like getting ahead, I was at home.
Yep, and we talked to William Piegler earlier, and he said you look like a different player this spring. Said that you and Donovan are the two running backs he's seen the most improvement on this spring. I guess how do you kind of quantify that and back that up with what you think you've been doing out there?
I mean, I've been trying to do everything they want me to do. Either that be more physical, run more lean, try to hit the hole harder, whatever it is. I mean, I've been implementing everything they tell me into my game to try to be a complete back, a whole back, which is what I want to be. Because I mean, I feel like being a complete back gives you the best chance of like playing, because you can pass, you could run the ball, you can catch, you can do it all. So with me, I'm trying to take strides in every area. I'm not trying to just hone in on one thing. I want to be great at everything.
Thanks, Elijah.
No problem.
Our next question is from Stephen Brooks with 24/7 Sports.
Hey, Elijah, good to talk to you, man. Going back to a little bit of what you were just saying, like when did you feel, I guess, that you were sort of past COVID-19, I guess, as much as you can be past it,
Yeah.
Like by game one, were you basically ready to go, or were you still sort of feeling that backlog of effects?
I mean, so with me, originally, I had to sit out because someone I was close to had got COVID at first. I didn't test positive exactly that time, so I still had to wait 2 weeks. And then on top of that, I tested positive the following like 2 weeks after. So the span then wasn't 2 weeks. It actually turned out to be like almost a month for me. So it kind of set me back even further. So it was like around that time when the season had started, I was not ready to go. Me personally, like saying that I wasn't ready to go, but like in my head I was thinking I was, but looking back, I wasn't.
When do you think you sort of got to that point, I guess? Or did you at all, I guess, during the season?
I started to feel as if I was getting back to that towards the end of the season. That's why you didn't really see me too much last year. Like I was giving everything I had, but I really didn't have too much to give, if that like sounds right.
Sure. And just, how'd you sort of process that all mentally and just come to terms with it? Like it's, probably not anything that you did, obviously not on purpose, not really your fault, because it happens. But when you had the 2019 season, you did, and then things sort of out of your control change your follow-up, and you don't really get to have that breakout second chapter there, just how have you sort of come to grips with that and process that? How frustrating was that, in the moment?
I mean, for me, it was probably one of the most challenging things that I've ever had to deal with. Reason being, I mean, a lot of things in my life tend to go right. So for something to go so drastically wrong, I feel like, I mean, it was a lot to deal with, but I was able to get through it because I had my family and my friends around me. They was able to help me through it, talk to them. Even though I wasn't able to go see none of them, I was in contact with a lot of people over the phone, just to stay in touch, just to like keep my mental, you feel me, in the right area. Because I mean, it's definitely easy for a young athlete to think like, oh, this is in the world, like everything's gonna get worse from here. When in reality, I mean, we're gonna like get past it and get through COVID, and we get to like where we are now. So.
Got it. Thanks, man. I appreciate you being open about it and talking with us a little bit about all that.
No problem.
Our next question is from Jared Ramsey with WKAR.
Hey, Elijah, I just wanted to ask what it's been like for you being able to work with the coaches after last off season not being able to, and just what it's been like to work hand in hand with Coach Piegler and Coach Tucker for a full off season.
I mean, for a full off season, I mean, it's been tremendous. I mean, just to see the things that I'm able to do now, and like how I was able to really like hone in on some of the stuff that they were saying. Because I mean, during the season, things were flying fast. Like they'll just get like, this is our like first time running through the schemes and stuff of that nature. So things were just kind of chaotic. I was able to learn still, but ultimately, like the time with the pace we're moving at now and like how things are going now, I feel like I'm so much far ahead than I was last year.
And I guess just to follow up, is that just from a scheme standpoint, or is it also just like physical, getting back in the weight room with other players, or is it kind of all encompassing?
I mean, it's both, I really feel like, but more so, I definitely do think it's the weight room. With Coach Novak, Coach Novak has really implemented a lot of new stuff that we do in the weight room. He's changed a lot of things, and then like I really feel like I really feel as if he's got the right stuff for us. 'Cause, I mean, you can see across the whole team we've been like with Coach Tuck wants us in the best condition, and so I'm pretty sure you can see that amongst a lot of players that we're in pretty good shape.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Matt Charvin of the Detroit News.
Hey, Elijah, considering how last year went, how eager, how much are you looking forward to not only this Saturday getting out there again and being 100%, but in the fall again after the way last year went?
I'm extremely excited because I mean, for me, I live for moments like this. I live for moments where I get to go out there and just show people what I'm capable of doing. I mean, I work pretty hard. I feel like I always can do more work, but I really think I work really hard. So for me, it's like I can go out there and just show y'all what I'm capable of doing and get back to where I was. So it'd be great, I feel like.
And I don't know how much you pay attention during the season or whatever, but felt like last fall there's a lot of everyone's asking like, hey, what's going on with Elijah Collins? Everyone was wondering, why he wasn't playing more and all this and that, and you don't get a lot of answers. Was there any moments where you like wanted to scream like, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm going through something. It's not just because they don't want to play me or something.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely some moments where it's like I would want to just reach out and just tell everybody like what was exactly going on. But it's like for me personally and mentally, like my mental health, I felt like just keep it to myself and trying to like keep my head low and just do the work and do what I can now really helped the most. Because I mean, a lot of people kept like I got bombarded with DMs and all kind of stuff asking like, well, where you at? What are you doing? Like what's going on? But it's like they don't really know what's actually happening. So for me to like tell each and every person to do that, I mean, that has been a lot of stress, I feel like.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
We have time for a couple more. We'll go to Rainer Saban of the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Elijah, when you look at teams that have made a kind of a leap in 1 year through the Big Ten, I guess in recent years, I mean, you've had Minnesota, Indiana, Northwestern. I mean, do you see Michigan State capable of doing the same thing, from year 1 to year 2 under Mel Tucker?
Oh, I definitely do. I mean, he's came in, he's kind of like put like his like how he wants things done, how he likes stuff a certain way. He's put all of that in, and it's been gelling pretty well with a lot of the players. Like a lot of players are behind him, so I mean, I definitely feel like we can stir some things up this year.
Thanks.
Our last question, I'll go back to Matt Wenzel with MLive.
Hey, Elijah, I think it was Connor we talked to earlier this spring had mentioned you getting your weight back up, and I think Mel talked about that recently, and you talked about that earlier. But I guess how have you been able to do that, to achieve that? Because I assume that isn't very easy when you're used to trying to play around the same weight all the time.
It definitely wasn't easy at all. I mean, definitely had to really focus and hone in on my nutrition, which Coach Tuck has really like emphasized a lot, especially with Amber. Like when our nutritionist, she's been taking care of us tremendously. She does a great job. And I mean, just hitting the weights hard and eating three and 4 meals snack as well, but really getting in that weight room and like every day trying to like do a little extra something just to try to get back to where I was. So, I mean, yeah.
What do you think you played at last year to start?
Last year to start, I was around like 210, 212. I was pretty light, I felt like. And it was like I just like lost a lot of fat as well. So it was like I was really kind of like just muscle and bone. And it was like it wasn't that much muscle. So I really needed to like up my muscle. I'm not sure how to word that. Yeah, I don't really know how to word that exactly, but like I had to gain more muscle and put more muscle on my frame opposed to like just adding some fat here and there. I really needed to like add more muscle weight because that's what a lot of I lost.
We talked to Mel recently. He said that he thinks your best football is ahead of you, and he's sat down and had some conversations with you. I guess can you kind of outline what you guys have talked about as far as what he's projecting from you, and I assume what you want to accomplish as well.
Yeah, me and Coach Tuck had some very like good talks. I mean, it honestly lasered my focus. It helped like keep my head clear and like was helping me for me to focus in on like the task ahead rather than like what I'm surrounded by or like whatever's going on in the world. Just to hone in and really focus on what I'm doing and pay attention to my work.
Thanks, Elijah.
No problem.
Looks like we have one more from Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Elijah, I wanted to ask you, a year into it now, how much better sort of an understanding do you have of Coach Piegler in terms of just what he wants and how he is on game days and what it's going to take to get carries and how he sees the pecking order and just all of that, you know, a year into it now, how has that understanding of each other changed or evolved?
Oh, it's evolved, I mean, tremendously. Cause I mean, it's like, I understand what he wants and like how he wants to do things and like how he wants things done. So it's like, it's kind of clear. It's easier for me to like focus on what he wants and not just be trying to like guess at what he wants from me, like, or guess how he wants things done, or like try to like figure out like how he's teaching it. Like everything's understandable. He makes things very clear. And I mean, it's kind of like, I see what he's trying to say every time now.
For sure. Also got to ask you about the offensive line, of course, and how they're doing this spring. Anybody that's jumped out to you or just big picture stuff that you've noticed from those guys? How have they looked?
I mean, those guys are becoming more of a unit. I feel like those guys are really gelling together and really like coming together. Because I mean, like our offensive line took a lot of heat. They always take heat over like, but now I feel like this offensive line is ready to stand tall and really to go out there and give their best, give their all, and play for each other.
Got it. Thanks, man.
No problem.
It looks like we got one more. I think Chris is on the cell phone.
Yeah, thanks, Elijah. I appreciate the candor with all of this. I guess last year, when you were going through all of that, did you consider sitting out the fall after you contracted it? And I guess looking back at it now, not getting the waiver to know that it wasn't going to count against your eligibility, how big is that for you moving forward?
Oh, it's pretty big. 'Cause I mean, it gave me a year to like just see how the schemes go, see kind of like what they wanted, to give me kind of like a picture frame so that I could like fill in and paint the rest of the picture. Like it really gave me like a blueprint for me to like go out there and do what I needed to do and handle my business this year in the spring.
And for you, with the new coaching staff, what is the chance to get to show them right now who Elijah Collins is versus last year? I would imagine that's a pretty big point of emphasis for you.
I mean, for me, it's just like I get to go out there and do it all over again. Because I mean, like this is a new coaching staff. I mean, of course, I had a good year, but it's like these are new coaches. They're from different places. They have new stuff. They do things differently. So it's like the requirements might change, but at the end of the day, it's still football. So it's like for me, I get that whole chance to go out there and basically like not reinvent, but like just to re-show everybody like what I'm doing or what I'm capable of, and know that I'm still here in East Lansing.
Sounds good. It looks like we have answered all the questions. So Elijah, I really appreciate your time, sharing your story today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you Saturday in Spartan Stadium.
For sure. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Sounds good. Thanks for today's Zoom call. I know.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Thanks, everyone.